Let me introduce myself. My name is Jesper Vang. I'm head of powder technology at SSAB, and with me I have Frederic. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm Frederic Tholence, working at Volvo Cars in sustainability. Yeah.
Thank you. So we're here today to talk about, as our great moderator told us, near zero emission steel AM powder for automotive. And SSAB, we're quite new in the powder business, so I just want to introduce us as a company, of course. You can read the numbers, but what's important for us, Swedish company, HQ in Stockholm, Sweden, and we're aiming to be largely emission-free by 2030. Quite aggressive, I would say, and so far looking good. That is, of course, with our products as well. That's why we have fossil-free steel and zero steel. The fossil-free steel is made from the hydrogen-reduced iron ore, emitting only water, and the zero steel is made from scrap. This the electricity is fossil-free, and the fuels are fossil-free. Moving forward. So, this is our story in sustainability with steelmaking. 2016, more or less, we started our venture together with LKAB and Vattenfall in Sweden. We started a new company called Hybrid, where we developed a new technology reducing the iron ore. We announced that we were going to launch our fossil-free steel in 2026, but we did our first delivery in 2021. And 2023, last year, we released our zero steel as well, which is emission-free scope 1 and 2. This year, now, we're launching SSAB Zero and fossil-free for additive manufacturing, where the zero is scope 1, 2, 3, and the fossil-free 1, 2, which is quite important for our business. And I will tell you a little bit about that later. And as I said previously, 2030, largely emission-free. Striving, going well. Why do we do this hybrid venture? We do this because we know recycling steel, scrap-based steel making will not be enough. We will not be able to meet the market demands. So we need to have this, and we're pushing the market. Why we're pushing the market? We're doing it because of the environment and the great peers we have within the industry, like Volvo, who's pushing us, of course. And that's why we have a great collaboration in this area. So I'm a little bit too fast here, I can say. But nonetheless, I will push through. So I wanted to show you this picture of an LCA study I found on high-pressure die casting of zinc alloys for automotive. Why I wanted to show you this? Because in AM, the material, as you can see in the left picture, is mainly a big factor in the carbon footprint. So if we can reduce this footprint, we can really make additive more sustainable. The right picture shows the LCA of the complete phase compared to conventional manufacturing. And in this case, additive manufacturing beats conventional, but it would beat and outperform conventional manufacturing even more if the right powder is used. So that's just to urge you, more or less, to really choose the right material. If you're going for sustainability, you need to really choose the right material to achieve sustainable greatness. And now I will leave it to Frederic.
Yep. Thank you. Yes, and as you might know, at Volvo Cars, sustainability is very high on the agenda. Already 2019, our CEO said that we should build our reputation in terms of sustainability, as we have done on safety So it shows pretty much the level here. So we have developed or released our new ambition when it comes to sustainability, and we aim now of being pioneers to protect people and the planet. And this is by focusing on these three pillars, sustainability pillars that we have. Climate action, and here we plan to be net zero by 2040. Circular economy, and we will work towards being a circular business. And also, finally, by 2040, being recognized as a clear leader when it comes to circular business, responsible business. Focusing. Which do I have to? No? Okay. Yes, that's much better. Yeah. Focusing on the climate action, because this is very much a very important topic here. Compared to 2018, we are planning to decrease the emission by 40% on our cars by 2025, decrease them by 75% by 2030. This is very ambitious. And also being, as I said before, net zero by 2040. And already in 2030, we will only produce 100% battery electric vehicles. Now it's, what did I do?
Shows something else on the screen here.
It's on this. Oh. Yes, bingo. So what does it mean in practice for us? And this is something, just an example. We have here the life cycle assessment of our car, this C40 that we published in 2021. And you see that the total life cycle footprint of the car is in the order of 50 tons. But the interesting half of it is actually coming from the material that we put in our cars. And you see on the pie chart here, the distribution of the contribution of the different materials. And steel here is 20% of the footprint of the material. So if in 2021, the total footprint of the steel is 4.75, to reach by 2040 this net zero ambition, we have estimated that we should decrease basically this footprint by 90%, 95, coming up to, in practice, an emission factor for steel of 0.3 kilos of CO2 per kilo. And this is below the threshold for this near zero steel. So it is very clear here that near zero steel is definitely a necessity for us. Okay, now it's something again strange on the screen. Okay, yes. Yes. It pretty much means that most of, or all the steel will have to be net near zero by 2040. We have already the technology, some technologies available, and this is what SSAB is implementing. We have the scrap-based AIF steels and this hydrogen DRI that are here, and also these carbon capture technologies. But for the industry, we also need increased volume, and these also new grades that we see here, for example. Obviously, limiting the waste, that's very important, of course, when it comes to sustainability. And when you start to reach very low footprint, then you start to look at the small contributors, which are perhaps the alloying elements, they are the coatings, and they are the logistics. There, you start to really see the impact of those contributors and everything which has to do with scope 1 and 2. Yes, if we go to, yes, it doesn't go that way, this one. Yes, now it's perhaps back. It's inverted. Thanks. Yeah, if we look at the additive manufacturing more in details and how it can improve or enable our ambitions when it comes to sustainability. Here we have, and if we go to this one, yes, thanks. Here we have started or looked at basically during the car life cycle the different aspects that we think that we or our, of course, suppliers should address. And I would say that so far, so I guess you recognize, we have seen them this morning also. We are very active in the design phase. sourcing phase and the production. For example, for the design phase, we have been working with additives since the 80s when it comes to prototyping. We also see like advantages, improved functionalities and these aspects. On the supply chain, shorter supply chain, it's a lot more easier to like trace the materials and also decrease the transportation burden. And when it comes to the production, we are more onto the toolings, the jigs, and also the spare parts for our equipment. There we see definitely big advantages here. So, yeah, okay, So to sum up, I would say, here we think that, yes, of course, decarbonization is definitely vital for us and our ambitions. Working on both, I would say, internal processes, the alloying elements, and other contributors that we have addressed. When it comes to the scrap, we also think that reusing the scrap from the automotive back into the automotive is very important, and this is to secure that we will not downgrade the scrap to keep it at a very high quality as long as possible. And here is also very coupled to your product SSAB 0. And also traceability of the alloying elements, the ore, and also the scrap. And this is very much to secure responsible sourcing, and which is of course very important for us. Yeah.
Yes.
How about you?
Yeah, I don't need that one. Yeah, and steel supply. As I mentioned before, the scrap availability won't be enough for the future demand we have in the steel world. And we have developed new products to be climate neutral without offsetting or mass balancing. And the great corporations we have with Volvo and others are pushing our development in sustainable steel making. It's we're really grateful for that. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, both of you. If I get the chance, Frederic, to have one from an automotive company on stage, I need to ask one or two questions. Because yesterday, if I'm allowed to, yesterday we discussed shortly that the end customer is not really interested in what kind of technology you use inside the car. And most of the time it's covered by anything, so nobody would anyway see. But especially if it comes to the topic of sustainability, which is one of the core topics of Volvo in the recent time, is that something that is marketed as well? I mean, would the customer be interested in that? What do you have been...
In sustainability?
Yeah, not in sustainability in total, but I mean, this is using zero emission metal powder and using additive in total would be a good story, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, I guess it would be a good story. That's, I guess.
But
so, yeah.
Is it something where marketing approaches you and says, Frederic, please tell us more about what you're doing there?
I actually don't.
No? Okay, it's not something where you're connected. But this would be my recommendation, to be honest, especially to sell it more, to bring together marketing, because this should be marketed. I don't know, how do you see that? But this is something the end customer should know, right? I mean, that a company is doing that. So thank you, both of you. Big applause for you, for your presentation. Good luck for the future. Thank you so much.